Hello, everyone. A good morning and welcome back. So, I am in a new journal, or I'm transitioning to a new journal. So, that means I have to set up a new journal. So, this is my current journal, is the Archer and Olive A5 craft paper notebook. Has the cute little constellation on the front. And I guess when I ordered this one, I ordered the same cover. So I decided that that would be fitting for 2021 to have two beautiful blue notebooks. So I have the the Neapolitan. I forget what the word is. It's like the ice cream that has three different flavors. Like it's normally like chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. So I called it Napoleon, like Napoleon, the French. Was he a king or a general? Whoever he was. Yeah, so I've literally called that Napoleon ice cream for a long time. So that's like what I think of when I see this journal is Napoleon. So beautiful, again, Archer and Olive notebook A5. It is dotted and it is also Neapolitan. So that is the white, beautiful white paper, the craft paper, and then we also have the blackout paper. So I have used a blackout journal from Archer and Olive last year, I believe. What year is it even? It maybe have been in 2019 now. It might have been a while ago. But I have used that journal by them. So I'm very interested to see how it is using one that's like has the it alternates. It's so exciting. Okay, so I have done some pre-planning at Barnes & Noble. I have like my little list that I'm carrying over of like what spreads I'm carrying over. On page 1, which I'm not going to show you, I'm doing this new thing, which is like in case of an emergency. So it's like my information, emergency contacts, a list of medications, my primary care doctor, etc. So like if someone, if I had this and for some reason they needed to, for whatever reason, needed to know that information, it's there. It's also there for me too. So the doctors and the medication and stuff is more for me because whenever you call some other place, like not your primary, like I swear they're like, so what's your primary care doctor? Like, what's the phone number? What's this? Like, what's that? And you're like, hold on. I don't even know how to spell that person's name. So this is for me. So that's, I wrote it in pencil. I felt very like rebellious doing that. So that's fun. And I've penciled out what my different pages are going to be. Again, I'm going to keep it real simple. So yeah. So let's get into the planning, shall we? I have a new setup. So I have this like crane arm thing that I can put my phone on because I've been filming in my room. So I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So that will be down when I'm filming the above shots, and I have it clipped not to my desk because it moves and shakes, but to the windowsill. So we will see how I like that. Yeah. Let's get into the planning. All right, isn't one of the best parts writing your name in the journal? Ugh, I did that when I pre-planned, so I didn't film that. But here I am gathering my supplies. I decided to use the Crayola metallic markers for like my headers and stuff. I use definitely like other pens in this setup, but those are some of the main ones that I'm using. Yeah, and I just do a little page test here to figure out which ones I want to use. If I'm being honest, this is a really big part of my process. I typically will write out and draw like lines and just to kind of see like what I'm going to use. You'll see in a minute. I like went downstairs and I grabbed one of my little drawers with all my like fine liners and stuff in it, and just to choose like which ones I was going to use. So I end up preferring back to this Archer and Olive A5 like notepad, I guess. Yeah, the silver pen was down in the basement. Yeah, so here we are setting up the index. I just kind of have found something that's worked for me, and I just have kind of continued to use that. So essentially I have dots on all four corners of each like header. So you have like what the content of the page is, and then in the right column you have like the page number. I don't know, something about it, I just feel like it frames it really well. So yeah, so I do like the 4 dots, and then just draw the lines down. I use the gray Tombow, the one that's to my left there, to do the headers. Yeah, so I'll do that. And I use the pink marker to write the title. And I will go back through, actually, like, I don't know how long after that, but I use like a purple Tombow, and I use like every other line just so that I could really, I don't know, it just helps give the index depth, for me at least, and it's easier to like find things if it's like an every other line type situation. So here, setting up my future log. So it's very interesting because I have been bullet journaling for quite a few years now. You would think I would have this situation down pat, like what exactly I do. And why don't I write that down somewhere? That's really smart, actually. Like future log, you do 3 columns on each page, and you start 1 dot in and 5 dots down from the top, or whatever it is. I know I ended up making a mistake, and I went through with I believe it was like whiteout tape. Yeah, and so I would not suggest this specific product. And I don't know if it's because it's kind of like loose in my pencil case, but I did yeah, like my spacing was off there. I did like test it before I used it in my journal, but I went back and it's like cracking and kind of discolored. So even though that's really easy to use, I would not recommend using that product. That's from Staples, their brand. So at first I started out with this Pentel like sparkly pen, which I really love. And I'm like, oh, cute, gray on gray. I'm like, then you can't read it, Mariah. So I ended up going over it with another pen, and I'm not remembering at the moment. Of course, my journal's not in front of me. I'm using this Stabilo fine liner to do in black to do the days of the week. And I, again, didn't figure out what colors I wanted to use before I decided. So I ended up using silver for the header, and then I alternated between 2 here, this is where I'm like trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. I had to go into the basement. So I'm gonna interrupt a voiceover, Mariah, for just a second. So I have these cute little folders that I bought for my gel pens, and I labeled them with these cute little things, and they sit downstairs. So I went to grab them because I was thinking maybe a pink for the calendar. And then I have these, so I have to make a choice now. I have to figure it out, So we'll see what I come up with. This is why I originally had all my stuff in the basement, because I was filming down there, and plus I don't use all of it all the time. So we'll see. Okay. Back to the scheduled programming. Okay, so I didn't show you all of the swatching, but I originally thought I was going to do all pink. And then I decided to do like pink and purple. So I used the two, oh my God, my brain, jelly rolls. Mariah! I've already done the voiceover for like 4 other videos today, so my brain is tired. So this purple pen is from that new collection that came out that had like pastel and like a bunch of gray tones. Ugh, this was my first time using it, so that was super fun. Okay, so here for the lines for the future log, I do basically not exactly the same as I do with the index, because I would have drawn like, there would be like twice as many lines, but essentially I just divided it in half. There's a dot at the top and bottom, and then I connect them. So the next spread that I did is my memories and master list spread. So just recently I ended up taking over the master list side because I had never filled it out, and I put a few Polaroids from a trip that I had just went on with my mom, like a weekend trip. So that just shows me that for the next journal, just use 2 pages for memories. I think in my last journal I didn't use 2 pages, and so I was like, why am I going to waste 2 pages? So I ended up putting my master list collection in the back of my journal. So I tend to do that. Like if it's a spread that like I didn't think I was going to use and then I end up reusing it again, I typically put them all at the back so they're kind of together. Obviously I have collections like spread throughout the journal, like some of them like certain packing lists for certain trips or whatever. But okay, so let's talk about reading spread. So this is my reading log. So I have actually had to make a second one of these. Okay. So at the beginning of the year, or maybe even last year, I was like, you know what? You're going to start reading all the books that you have in the basement and everywhere else, all over your room, all over that cute little like 3-tiered wheelie cart that you have stacked on the bureaus and the floor and the desk and everywhere. So yeah, I listed at the top a title, and then I have my headers. So I have started, I have title, and I have finished. And then I have between the started column and the title column, I have numbers, so numerals from 1, counting all the way down. And I believe this was like in the is it in the 60s? Anyway, so I do the 2 side columns first, and then I do the columns in the middle because I don't want to have to like draw lines in between. The little symbol at the bottom for me is a headphone, like 2 little dots and then like a semicircle connecting it. That means it's an audiobook. So typically I put that on the right side of the title section. And then there's a little dot, like just a circle essentially. And that's if I've started pointer finger. I bought Holo Taco and I love the polish. This is my first time using the Peely base coat because I have a wedding this weekend on Saturday and I wanted to paint my nails ahead of time. And I was so excited. I got my polish yesterday, my new polish from Holo Taco that I painted my nails, and I used the peel off base coat. But I also didn't watch any videos, like there's a specific way you're supposed to prep your nails, and I did not do that, and so one of them just popped off. I guess it really does peel off. So now I'm gonna have to repaint my nail. I haven't painted my nails in like 2 years, so yeah. All right, almost done with the setup for 2021. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me on my setup number 2 of 2021. I'm filming this before I've set it up, so I'm assuming it's going to go great. I'm not going to pretend I'm filming this afterwards because I'll be probably too tired. But I am going to do some of my setups, and I'm going to set up the next month as well, so that is super exciting. Again, if you have not seen June's 2021 setup, go ahead and check that out, because this month is going to progress from the plain white paper to the craft paper, the first section. So that is going to be really exciting. Okay guys, see you next time.